What's happening, Reds? Welcome back to the Copyright Podcast and another Reds in Europe show to discuss tomorrow night's clash against Rangers at Anfield. Yeah, I'm Mick and I'm joined by Kristian. Once again, how are you doing, Kristian?
Yeah, well, I'm all right after Saturday, but it's only Monday, so need a few more days. So tomorrow, obviously, with a game, it's probably going to feel a little bit better.
Yeah, and I mean, well, I was going to say feel better, but the way Liverpool are playing at the moment, yeah, it's not been good, has it, to be fair? But we might as well talk about, obviously, we haven't discussed Brighton yet. 3-3 draw with Brighton on Saturday. Yeah, 2-0 down, 2-2, 3-2 up, and they scored towards the end, which was the most obvious equaliser in the world.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that generally? That game was mad, weren't
Yeah, well, first off, with the starting 11, I was a little bit surprised with Carvalho starting, and also for Firmino, even though he's been good. I was expecting a stronger team, to be honest, in terms of skills and what we need at the moment. So I was a little bit surprised and wasn't sure, but I thought, we're at home playing Brighton. Without saying Brighton is bad because they're really good. But I wanted a few other players to play. Yeah, it was a weird game in that sense that we started off as we've seen Liverpool start off now since the start of the season, like no energy. And I felt straight away like, oh, come on, not again. You kind of lose it straight away and you getting a bit used to it, which is a bit disappointing too.
Well, that's the most frustrating thing, I think, is like, I think we've discussed on several shows now where, like, I think with the Man United game was the first time where you're like, where's the desire? Where's the energy? Where's the passion for the shirt and all that? And it's just like
repeating itself now.
It just keeps happening, and you're like, when the fuck's it? When's it gonna stop? When's it gonna end? When's the real? I was gonna say when's the real Slim Shady gonna stand up, but that's a bit of a shit dad joke. But when's the real Liverpool gonna fucking materialize? But yeah, morning Yuki. She's in California. Very lucky indeed. What a roller coaster that was. Yeah, what a roller coaster that was then, as Curtis Jones would say. Martin Barton, nice one, Martin. Nice one for jumping in. Yeah. So let's have a look. So Trossard gets 2 within 17 minutes, basically. And like you said, I think the midfield, like, to be fair though, like on paper and like historically, like the last year or more, Henderson, Fabinho, and Thiago, that's our best midfield, isn't it? So like, it's one of those, like Henderson obviously just back from injury, Fabinho just majorly not there at the moment, and Thiago, that's probably, well, first half, like every one of his passes was behind his man, like it was behind Tsimikas, or it was behind, like, it was one of them where it's usually perfectly into the path, and it was just little things like that. I know it's only a small thing, but when Thiago, I think I text you, Jordan, the game, I was like, even if when Thiago is missing basic 10-yard passes, that's when you know that gets down to the real level that your team's just struggling, and that was kind of the case. And I thought we get like the first one just before half time on half an hour, so we go in 2-1 down, but then we come out and get the second one, and then you think, yeah, it was just the first 20 minutes though. It was just craziness, wasn't it? It's just literally balls through. So they just pick up in little pockets in behind our midfield, and they just spin, run, and then it's another through ball, and you've got a shot on goal. It's literally that easy. It's just like you're wondering what can we do? Because I think Klopp said today, like, he's not going to change it drastically in terms of going forward, because he said he hasn't got time to do that, obviously, because if you switch to like a back 3 or a back 5 or whatever it's going to be, I don't know if that's like kind of just thrown in the towel and going, well, this 4-3-3 shit, it's not working. What can we do to have a different style? But yeah, something needs to change, doesn't it? So we need to, I don't know if it's energy or structure or, I don't know, everything needs to be better, loads better, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think all the players need to show their show energy, intensity, and actually the willpower to play, because I think still it looks slow. It looks like they're not really there. They're not taking it serious. That's the feeling I get when watching the game. And we talked about the lineup and that Jordan Henderson was starting, and obviously he was away with England as well. He played just a few minutes, but then he's been injured before that. But I thought maybe Elliot was going to start when we had Fabinho, Thiago in the midfield, and Elliot's been really good. I get that we might just rest him for a bit because he was away playing for the under-21s, weren't he? Like I can't remember, but anyway. But their first goal is when Jordan Henderson is absolutely a disgrace in midfield. He just get knocked out of the way, but by the Brighton player. And I'm one who's always defending Jordan Henderson because I think that he's been great for us. He's the captain, and he gets a lot of sticks. But I was shouting a lot when that happened because that was like no physical presence, nothing. It was just like move away, I get the ball, I pass it, then we score. For Brighton, it was like, what are you doing? You can't lose the ball in that area because that will be fatal. You will lose. They will probably score, if you just get the ball down there, get a shot, whatever, and they could even pick a pass in from that area into our, with defensive line, not even being there. And we saw it all the time. They could, make passes inside our penalty box, which is, come on, you need to, be on your toes and actually press them straight away. They shouldn't be able to pass, shouldn't be able to take a shot in that area. But they were, playing like a little bit kind of ticky-tack ball or whatever. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, you can't let them do that in the penalty area. And I was really angry at that time. And then you said, we were 2-0 down after just like 17 minutes. And I thought, like, okay, this is another one, and we're probably not going to get back from this because now we need to chase the game again.
Yeah, I think it's like, I was just going to say basically what Martin said. He's hit the nail on the head. Like, he's really expecting after the international break and the other cancellation we've had a chance to regroup and reset, and it doesn't seem like anything has changed. And that's kind of I think that's the most, it's one of the most frustrating things, is because we had that massive gap. You're thinking, right, get on the training pitch, sort your fucking heads out, get some players back from injury. And it's like, well, this should be ideal for us because we're getting key players back. And usually when the key players are back, we start to tick over and we start to turn the screw in terms of just being a good team. And it's just when we're just not very good at the minute. I think even Klopp today was like, he was struggling, like when some of the like questions, he was like, because he's not going to change it like drastically. Like, I think so in terms of like the like subs that happened in the Brighton game. So obviously Diaz came on at half-time for Carvalho. And I mean, I thought Carvalho was good, to be fair. I thought he was okay first half. But then Milner, so it was 2-2, and then Milner and Elliott come on. So Milner comes on for Tsimikas and Elliott comes on for Henderson. And I think at that time, those subs are obviously pre-planned, because I felt, in terms of like how you felt the game was going, I thought it was like a time to go, right, fuck it, Jota, Nunes, let's absolutely go for it here, and just obviously get another goal, because we hadn't got the third goal by that point because it was still 2-2. We get the goal shortly after, so I suppose you could say it worked. We just got 4 minutes later, but I just feel like when you see how good they were in terms of just slicing us open, I feel like if we had a bit more firepower up the top of the pitch, we might have got a couple more. I mean, it's one of those where we just needed to score more than them, and it's simple as that. That's the Liverpool of like fucking Brendan Rodgers and like just Klopp's first couple of years, where you just try and outscore the opponent just because like your defense isn't that good. But it's like it's just like a collective defensive rear guard that's just not very good at the minute. Like the midfield just aren't performing or being in the right positions to block those passing lanes that we're usually so good at. But yeah, it's fucking hell. It's just fucking craziness at the minute. But I'll just go through a few more of these comments. Yash, nice one for jumping in. What has happened to Virgil van Dijk? Do you want to take that one, Kristian?
I was like, I don't know. But, it's hard in one way as well, because he's been, one of the greatest, if not the greatest centre-back since he came to Liverpool, and just went on to become great. He was good in Southampton as well, but he just become great, and then we've been used to see his levels. He's seemed to be able to defend by himself when everyone else is going forward. There's a ball coming over or midfield or whatever. He's just there, clears it, takes it down, just calm as you like, as we say.
Yeah.
But sometimes players do get bad form, and obviously that can happen to Virgil van Dijk as well. Hopefully they can just turn around. I'm not worried. It's just that's like we said before. It's a collective thing. We need to just keep on working, and it's really annoying and frustrating that we see it all over again. But I guess it's just to keep on going. But I'm not concerned about Virgil in that sense, because we know his levels, and all players can have bad games and have a few bad games as well, and we have to let them have that as well. Sometimes you just have to do the job and keep on working, I guess. I don't know, because nothing's changed. He came back from his injury. He's getting better and better, and we thought like now he's back, and obviously now he's playing and he's not being good. But there's nothing else that's changed, so it's hard to say what's actually wrong, except for bad form, I guess.
Well, I think it's the like I said, keep saying the midfield. Like if the midfield's so key. Like if the midfield aren't there, then because we play such a high line, it's like the defenders are like it's difficult, because it's like they're at the stage where like I said, they're picking up pockets in behind the midfield and in front of the defense, turning and then playing through balls, and it's like, well, it's either keep the high line or then they're running back, and it's like it's difficult sometimes to. Because especially the amount of chances Brighton had, I couldn't believe it. Like they were just literally cutting us open, and I was just like, "What is going on?" They could have been 4-0 up in the first half an hour, and you just like, I wouldn't have been shocked. Like if we would have won that game, it would have been like, "Wow, I am elated." But we were horrific, and I think a draw is probably still positive for us, because I feel like Brighton were just well better than us and had others all over the place, and especially because their manager only had like one day with them training. It's like fucking hell. That's the level we've reached, but it can only get better.
But it's also, I guess, with it starts with Fabinho as well, because he's been all over the place since the start of the season. He hasn't been himself. We used to see a defensive midfielder, holding midfielder who could he can tackle, he can break up their offensive play or whatever, whenever, and he's good at pressing. So he's got all the skills, but this season he's been really bad. And when that kind of player having a bad few games, that will affect the defensive line as well with the back four, because they don't have that great player protecting them as they used to. So before they've been relying on him actually being the first force to block when the opposition going forward, but now he's been open the space for the opposition, and that obviously with players coming running towards the back four, it's hard to defend running back. So we need to sort that first out, maybe the first press, and obviously the midfield problem, because if Fabinho is not good, we have a problem as well. It's the same as Virgil van Dijk is not good. It starts in the midfield already.
Yeah, and I said this, like I was on Redman earlier. I said, like, even if you're in good form, like you can still get at our defense, and our midfield. I think it's just one of those things. It's a confidence issue which feeds into the rest of it. Just like I said, Thiago just like not playing 5-yard passes in the right direction, like, or playing them like slightly behind. And like I said, it's a small thing, but it's little things like that you just expect to be a loads better, and it's just not surprising at the minute the way it's been going. But Paul's in, nice one, Paul. Dan's in, of course. Nice one, Dan. Evening, lads. Hope you're good. Missed the first few minutes, but my summary of Saturday is it wasn't as bad as being made out. Also, we're a bit iffy after every break, and Brighton always cause problems. Yeah, it's just one of them, because we had the break. We were hoping, and I agree with you. Like, we're usually not good after a break. That tends to mess us up a little bit. But I just thought this time would be different, because we've been nowhere near it. I thought the break would do us a bit of good, have a bit of training, bit of rest, bit of everything, just mental recuperation and everything. I just thought this would be the time where we would start to play proper, just like proper Liverpool footy. Like, it's just like I think when we were texting during the game, like, it's like it takes us going down a goal or 2 goals for us to start going, right, we need to probably start like making some forward passes here and start trying to get in the box. It's like it should be like that from the off, and that's something that obviously the back end of last season, where we've conceded the first goal, but in the last season we still had enough form to still get over the line in most of those games, apart from the Tottenham 2-2, I think. But yeah, it's just we need to just start games better. It's just basic stuff. It's the basics that we're lacking, and I think that's the most concerning thing at the minute. Martin says, I think what's difficult to understand is no one can identify what the issue is, which makes it harder to sort it. It's not like there's no one problem which we can rectify and move on. Yeah. And then Dan says, on to the next one as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it's just one of them. Like, we're just like, it's like the next game, oh yeah, this is the one where Liverpool come to life. And I know there's been some times this season, obviously the Newcastle game overall wasn't great, but we get them winning and it's that pure elation. The Bournemouth game was just mad, like to batter them 9-0. That was just a clear outlier. We were just very good and they were just very poor. But we've not been at a good level, have we, in terms of like the season so far? It needs to. I think having a break, then obviously we'll get onto the Rangers game in a minute. Like having the Champions League might be a nice welcome distraction for us to go, right, well, different competition. We can maybe change this team around a little bit, and then maybe that can transmit itself back into the Premier League. But it's just we keep saying this, so.
Yeah, but also what was frustrating, obviously, was that Klopp defending Trent on the press conference. Talking about we can work on his defensive duties because he's still a young player, and we play him with his offensive skills. That's where he's really, really good, and all that, and blah blah blah. And still he goes and have a bad game, and obviously that's frustrating with all the talk about Southgate dropping him out of the England squad and all that, not playing him because of that. And we know that Trent can defend. We've seen him defend before. It's not that he's bad. He's just really, really good going forward and being able to assist the forwards, like with great balls into the penalty area or switch to play over crosses and all that. He's really, really good, but at the moment he just seems really slow and not really, I wouldn't say interested, but it's just like he can't come up to the level in terms of energy, as we've been talking about. You can see that he looks like he's tired, and he's one of the really vital players for us, that we need him to be good to actually play good as well, because he's that important to us in the way we play, as well as Robertson when he plays, or Tsimikas. That's like how we going forward and how we attack with the wing backs. And obviously now when he goes forward and try all this stuff and not defending well, they can play the balls behind in the space. And with Matip coming back from injuries, Virgil van Dijk not be good, it's loads of space down there. So I would have liked if we actually, I know Klopp's not going to switch, but I would have liked to actually have 3 centre backs to actually fill up that space, to feel that we got the defensive confidence going forward. But it's not going to change the system. We could play like 5-2-3, if you like, with the wing backs, and got 3 centre backs. I saw someone on Twitter actually writing quite a thread about that formation. I was like, yeah, well, that would make sense in one way, because you will probably feel safer with another centre back, as sorting out that space that we actually now give them, the opposition, the ball all the time. I know it's not going to happen, but I kind of like the idea, because then we can concentrate on actually defending and not conceding the first goal, and we can still go forward with Tsimikas, Trent, or Robertson if he plays, and we still have the offensive 3 as well, with 2 holding midfielders, obviously. But then we actually fill up the space in defense where we actually lack the concentration and the skills at the moment. It's a nice idea, but probably not going to happen.
I know. I think on paper it looks good, like back 3, like Van Dijk, Matip, and Kanate or Gomez. But then it's you get to the point, if we start doing that we haven't got enough centre backs, and Gomez and Matip aren't durable enough and maybe Kanate to an extent, because we don't want him picking up injuries as well regularly. Dan says Virgil is probably a combination of a long year straight after a big injury, World Cup likely on his mind as well. Didn't Brighton only have 6 shots all game? Shows it's been exaggerated a little bit. First 20 minutes were awful, but we were a better team for the next 50 minutes. Just dropped off again at the end. Yeah, it's for me, it's the most concerning thing is how easy it was. And like you mentioned, Trent, he's just not there at the minute. Like the confidence levels, I think there was a few times where he tries to clear it and he basically puts it back into the penalty box. And I think the one you mentioned before with Henderson, I think it's his header, isn't it? Trent headers it, and then
it goes in the center of the pitch. Yeah,
and Henderson's it's one of those where, as a midfielder, the ball's coming down, you literally just get your head on it. As that's all that matters. Just get something on it. Like that's all that matters. And he kind of does nothing and gets pushed off it. and I think he's calling for a foul. And then I was praying to God that it was when I watched the replay back, but it's not.
The way he went into that situation, you won't get a free kick. You won't, because you have to jump to actually. If you jump and get pushed over, you will have free kick. But if you just stand your ground, you actually can't be physical. Better than your opposition player in that position. He will just push you away, and you will never have a foul. You need to jump and actually try to get the ball to actually, if you get pushed, then you will have the free kick, but not in the way he actually behaved in that situation. So it was really bad.
We need a few more shit houses in the team. Does every team does it against? It seems like every player in every game we play, there's people like just obviously taking the piss on corners, just falling over. Like I think it was Veltman for them towards the end. I think Nunes runs at him and he just literally falls backwards, and you're like what? The ref? Why refs giving that? Like it'll forever just be one of the most annoying things ever. Like maybe he's run in a bit like. I was gonna say maybe he ran a bit too quick or a bit recklessly, but he's like basically just fell over and got a free kick for it. But I think if Hendo does the same there, maybe he gets a free kick. But then we're talking about fucking asking our captain to dive just to get us a free kick. But we need to be a bit more savvy, especially if we're struggling. We need to be a bit more savvy around the box and be a bit more clever. Because when everyone does it to us, it's fine. So why shouldn't we? Dave's in, nice one, Dave. Appreciate you jumping in, mate. Nice one. Ant's in as well, nice one, Ant. No wonder Trent's zero confidence literally has been destroyed in public by the England fraud. Yeah, I mean he has the right hand, to be fair, because there's fucking no need for Southgate to come out and say Trippier's all-round game's better. Like, who does that benefit? Benefits absolutely no one. Just say you prefer Trippier at the moment. That's just pure bad management for me.
I think the Trent, come across as a really laid back and calm person, but when you get that kind of comments from the England manager, and the whole country's talking about it in the newspapers, it's everywhere in terms of football, obviously. It will get into your head, I guess. You're just only human, but he comes across like he's very laid back and maybe don't care, but you don't know what's going on in his head. And obviously he wants to go to the World Cup. If you're a young player in that position, knowing that you have the skills, you want to go and represent your country, because that's, if you want to be a footballer and you actually make it, you want to play on the highest levels, of World Cups are obviously the highest levels as well. So now maybe, he kind of tries to prove a point, and obviously with that kind of stresses him as well. So he over tries everything and it won't work because he feels stressed to actually, impress Southgate, who we don't really care about anyway. And that's annoying because everything should be, focused on Liverpool at the moment. But it feels like it's a little bit of a pressure on him to actually, perform to go to the World Cup, because he might be scared that he's not actually going to be picked.
Yeah, well, I just thought it was win-win. I thought Southgate's a knobhead for saying that first off, but I thought it's either he's obviously going to want to go, so it's going to obviously galvanise him to knuckle down and be better for Liverpool, to show how good he is and to prove Southgate wrong. Or you can just go, well, fuck it, I'll just play better for Liverpool. But I just feel I think someone mentioned in the comments earlier, it's not always Martin, wasn't it? It's not just one thing. There's a load of things at the moment, which is they're all slightly overlapping, and you're it's players being out of form. Majorly, you players who you're 7 and 8 out of 10 every week are currently being 5 and 6s, and I think when you have a few of those in the same game, that's when you're struggling. You need your big players, especially when you're not in form. You need your big players to step up and just go, right, fuck this, we need to sort this out. Dan says, if we get battered by Arsenal and City, it is time to worry. Yeah, I think this Rangers game, which we'll get onto because Yash has just said, should Darwin be given a starting place in the Rangers game? So in terms of Rangers then, because obviously the team for Brighton was Alisson in goal, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago, and then Salah, Firmino, Carvalho as a free. What do you think? What do you think in terms of we might just talk about who you reckon's who's gonna play tomorrow? Do you reckon how many of them do you reckon will start?
Oh well, I hope that Van Dijk's gonna play, because we need to play the players that are not really in form at the moment, because the only way to actually get in form is actually to keep on playing games. to actually be out there in action and just try to get into the rhythm. And so, I don't know the status on Robbo at the moment, if he's actually fit to play or if we're going to play Tsimikas. But I rather just have the same back four. And in terms of midfield, Fabinho obviously hasn't been good, but I just want the whole team to actually, get in, click and get into rhythm. So I would probably play him, but I would play Elliott instead of Henderson, to be honest, because I think Elliott's been one of the best players since the start of the season. So there's no reason that he's not going to play, even if Henderson is our captain. We just need to, play the best players. But I hope also the front three. We need to start playing Nunez from the start. He has to play. Without any game time, he won't score goals, and what he needs now is to score goals and actually start to feel the confidence of being first, the first choice. And we need that kind of player as well, because we need someone with a bit of physical appearance as well, because the goal that he scored for Uruguay, when he just jumps up and head, it's beautiful, performed by him, and we need that kind of player in the box. So I would probably go with Salah, Nunez, and Jota, to be honest, or Luis Diaz, obviously. But I think Jota would be nice to play as well, because he wants to come back and prove. So it's going to be some changes, but I want to see Nunez start now, because we can't buy a player for all that kind of money, even if it's young, even if we're gonna have a patience with him, like Klopp said. But just start him and play him and give him time. If he, we can still get him off in like this 20 to 25 minutes left. We can still put like Jota on or Diaz or whoever, but I just want him to play, because I really want him to succeed. So it's just, all this, he needs more time. It's like, come on now, we just need to start actually winning games. So you just let him play, and hopefully he can start scoring. And with him scoring, the confidence will come.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, like the way we're playing, I think it's that's took priority at the minute. We just need to, like you said, start winning games. I think the form of players has to come after. Like, obviously, if Darwin Núñez all of a sudden just starts banging goals in, then Liverpool start winning games, then perfect. But Liverpool just need to put out the best possible team. But I do think Núñez should start, to be fair, because Diaz played 45 minutes against Brighton, Jota got 15, and Núñez basically got like 3 minutes or something. So that says to me, Núñez is going to start. I still think Diaz will start, and I think Jota will be on the bench. I think he'll go Salah, Núñez, and Diaz. I think so. And Henderson came off with 30 to go. So I think that says to me, Fabinho played the whole game. I think Hendo goes in the 6. You put Elliott on the right, and you put Thiago on the left. You have Fabinho on the bench. And you just kind of do, I think that's what you do with those two. You'd have 60-30. Like, so give Hendo 60, bring Fab on for 30. In the games Fabinho plays, take him off on 60. And just like, it's one of those, like, you between like playing players all the time to try and get them back into form, but also trying to give them a break as well. But if you're not winning games, you need to play your best players. So we're just stuck in a vicious circle at the minute where we need to keep playing the best players, but then some of our best players are some of the worst out of form. So you're like, fucking hell, it's a real dilemma for Klopp to try and figure out how to balance it in terms of who's going to start and who's not. But
yeah, yes. We can't forget about Firmino. He scored 2 goals, and he almost scored a hat-trick. He should have scored a hat-trick, to be honest, in my opinion, even though it's easy to say. But, that header looked like it should just be, straight into the goal anyway. But yeah, he was good, and the second goal was brilliant. The way he, you got the ball and just made his defender go, and then just put it into the net. He made it look easy. But still, even if I love him, I just, like you said, I want Núñez to play, and I want him to start, scoring goals, because if we can get him to do that, he will be the future in the offensive line. Like, he will play up front, and I think he's going to play, like you said, now, because he didn't start. And I would go with Diaz, Núñez, Salah. That would be really good for me. I wouldn't complain, but you just need to start coming into the rhythm, score goals, and actually win games.
Yeah, and on the Firmino thing, just quickly, like, he's got 5 goals and 3 assists in 6 matches. Like, that's like,
yeah,
I feel like he's kind of changed from being like just amazing at like dropping into like the gaps and not scoring that many to being not so good at the dropping into the gaps a bit, but just scoring goals instead. I feel like he's just changed what he's good at, which is a bit weird. He's still good at dropping in, but I just feel like he's not the same in terms of like he used to be able to just like rely on him to just pick up those spaces, and sometimes he drops too deep, which I think is natural when your team's not doing well. You players like that drop deeper and deeper to try and get the ball back. So, so yes, so start 11 predictions. So did you say your full team there? Basically, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, kind of.
We'll go through Ants first.
Yeah.
So he's got Ali, Gomez, Virgil, Canate, Tsimikas, Hendo, Elliott, Thiago, Salah, Nunes, Jota. 3-1 Nunes and 2 for Jota. I think it's a difficult one because you need to drop Trent if you're going to do that, basically, and you're dropping Fabinho, which is, I think, Fabinho, fair enough. And I mean, fair enough for both of them, to be fair. I don't know about Canate because he wasn't on the bench, was he, for the Brighton game?
He just came back from his injuries. I think it's a little bit too early still. We don't want to rush him. Yeah.
I think it's a little bit too early. And we might see maybe Gomez and Van Dijk. I don't know, at a push, but yeah, it's one of them. It's either keep playing them, keep playing Trent and Fabinho, but then they might just keep getting worse. So it's like.
But I would go with Trent, and then, like you said, we can drop Fabinho and play Henderson there because he can do the role. But I would still play Trent, even though he's been really bad, because if we can get control of the game and he can actually get his space to deliver the crosses and his passes, he's really vital to the way we play. So I just want to play him because we know what he can do offensively. Now we just need to make him do the bits defensively instead. So I will still keep on playing him to just make him feel confident as well. He knows he had bad games, but if we're just dropping him straight away as well, that will be another thing that will be on his mind, I guess. So, if Klopp actually shows, patience and belief in him, then, he might have, actually click and get into his form, hopefully, because he knows, the manager trusts me. I need to go out and start performing. I know we've said it now for a couple of games that I guess he's just one of them players who is that important that we just need to keep playing him. And we need the other players to actually understand, like, okay, he's not in his best form now, but we need him in the team. So we need to actually start covering for him as well. We need to work for him. And I don't think the players have done that lately. So, it's a team thing. If they see that he's not in form, come on, give him backup, run for him so he can actually do what he's doing best.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I am looking forward to seeing what the team news is for tomorrow. So it's what time's kick off? It's 8 o'clock kick off in it tomorrow. So we'll get the team news at an hour and 15 early. So quarter to 7? Yeah, 7:15 we'll get the team news. So I'm looking forward to that.
8 here, mate.
8:15, mate. Yeah, you. Actually, I was going to ask you this, obviously not while we're doing this, but are you free tomorrow to do a little team news show?
Yes,
talk.
I'm home alone.
Home alone, baby. All right, well, we'll do a little team news show because I reckon it might be a little bit surprising what Klopp does, but I don't know. You never know. We'll see. Dan's gone for Ali, Trent, Matip, Gomez. Oh, so no Virgin there, which fair. I mean, yeah. He needs breaks as well, to be fair. So yeah, Ali, Trent, Matip, Gomez, Tsimikas, Hendo, Elliott, Thiago, Salah, Firmino, Diaz. Would give Virgil rest. Fab is really struggling, so would rotate him. The thing is, like we've said, we've got players back now, so we can start doing this. You can put Gomez centre back. You can then switch him back over to right back, take Trent off, bring Matip on, or bring whoever's on the bench on. Midfield options, obviously, no one's mentioned Arthur yet, or Art, or whatever his name is. I don't know. He'll probably be on the bench again, won't he? I don't know where he's up to in his. I mean, there's Ramsey as well, who obviously we want to see him actually play footy because we want. I think the competition for Trent's another thing. We need competition in there for him to maybe get him, let him have a rocket up his arse to understand that he's not just secured of a place every week. I think that's a partial bit of the reason and why maybe he's not been 100% there, because his position's not under threat in the same way like Robertson and Tsimikas are kind of at very good levels. He also, Dan said as well, Salah needs a couple of goals for confidence. Bobby is on it. in front of goal, and Rangers won't want to face many forwards like him. Diaz is our best player right now, so he has to play 5-0 Liverpool. Oh my God, I love it. I absolutely love it. Yuki's gone for 2-0 clean sheet, please, and says cannot concede first again.
No.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? We can't keep conceding. Like I think, Rangers, they got beat by Napoli, didn't they? They got beat
like
at home.
4-0 or
3-0, I think it was.
4-3, yeah. I think it was like 4-0 against Napoli or 3-0 against Dijk, wasn't it? Or something like that? Or was
yeah,
it?
3-0 Napoli it was.
Okay, yeah.
And then they must have got beat 4-0 by Ajax. But so yeah, they've obviously played 2, lost 2. Ajax played 2, got same points as us, and then Napoli are obviously top because they've won both. Ajax are at home, so I think that would be a tricky one actually. I know Napoli just wiped us aside like we weren't even there. I'm just absolutely embarrassed us, but a nice little draw there would be lovely because then we'd be a lot closer to the top. But I think especially like we've got Rangers at home, then we've got them away, haven't we? So we need to be getting 6 points out of these. And like I said, I think it's like a nice change for us to go and play Champions League football under the lights at Anfield. And if that doesn't get you up for it, then not much else can it?
No, and I think it was Dan who wrote in a comment before, say, we were bad the first 20 minutes against Brighton, and then we were actually good for like, the rest of the game, except for the last bit when we conceded again. But that's the problem, though. Like, we need to go out and we have to go out and think that we're already actually, 1-0 down or whatever. We need to think that we can't just go out and play that way, because if you concede like 1 or 2 goals that quickly as we did against Brighton, and even if, I don't really know how good Rangers are in terms of, comparing them to Premier League teams or whatever.
It's hard to say, isn't it, really?
Yeah, but we can't just let teams, score goals at Anfield early on. We can't keep on doing it, because then we need to change the whole way we are playing, because we need to start to chase the game and actually score 2 to get in front. And that's why it's annoying, because we start to stress and we can't play our own game. And I think that's the key. We need to feel like the defensive stuff is actually there, so we feel safe and get confidence from like, okay, we can defend, that's fine, we feel self-confident, and now we can go forward. But we can't keep on doing that, like they said here in the comments, because that's because teams will look at other teams, what they did, and keep on doing that. Well, we need to just set the defensive line now. Okay, no one's going to actually get through here at Anfield, and we're going to do our own game plan and go on and actually score a few and win this game with proper energy and proper intensity, because we can't keep on doing that. It's, you just can't.
It's just hilarious that the Pep Linders book intensity, and then it's just so ironic, isn't it? Like I was very very fortunate to go that day and meet Pep, and I was like, oh, this is boss.
This is Pep great. Linders,
yeah. Shook his hand, and I was like, oh, you're tall, you mate. Not as tall as you, lad. You're 6'9", aren't you, or something?
Oh, that's 6'6", I guess. Yeah.
Are you 6'6"?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know. I'm what is it? 197 centimeters.
I know 183 is 6 foot. So you're nearly at Crouchy level there, I think. I remember when I met you in the pub, and you were sat down having a bevy. I was like, Kristian, nice to meet you. And you stood up, and I was like, fucking hell, you absolute giant. Fucking hell. Yeah, I think I'm 6'1", and I felt tiny.
It's the Viking blood,
The Viking blood's in you,
yeah. Yeah.
I've just seen your quiz question, but I just thought I had one ready. And I don't know if, Kristian, did you watch Redman earlier when the quiz question?
I think I was listening because I was doing a bit of work as
well.
But
I'm gonna ask you then. I'm gonna ask you, who are the 3 Liverpool players who've transferred, so either to or from Rangers? Which are the last 3 in the Premier League era? I'll give you the first one because Anne said it there.
Oh yeah,
Ryan Kent. Kent's one of them. But there's 2 more players who've made the transfer from either Rangers to Liverpool or Liverpool to Rangers. Who are they? Comments can jump in as well if you want to help Kristian out.
Ben Davies.
There you go. You've got it. Who's the other one?
Yes. Just popped up now, obviously. I can't remember. We had Wilson coming from Rangers to Liverpool, but he's...
There you go, you got it.
Oh, is that one?
That's the one, yeah. Yeah. Dave jumped in.
What about Jordan Rossiter? Wasn't he there as well?
Yeah, but it was so from Rangers to Liverpool.
Was it?
Oh no, sorry. I'm getting proper confused.
I was like, no, because Rossiter used to one of our own from the start, and then obviously he must have... Or did he play somewhere else before Rangers, maybe? Did he get transferred to another team before Rangers, or
maybe? I don't know. That was just the question that was on Redmond, and it was only 3 answers.
All right,
so I don't know. I've probably fucked that up there, to be fair. But they were the 3 answers anyway. Dave's gone for Vignal. I think he played for a few different teams before that. Ant's gone for Wilson and Davis. Yeah, both right, lad. Nice one. Yash, nice one. Appreciate that. So let's do score predictions then, because I've just fucked up the quiz question. I'll have to get that wrote out properly next time. What are you thinking, lad? Score 5-0?
And shave again? No. I said 3-1 against Brighton. I want us to have a clean sheet now. We really, really need it. I say 3-0 Liverpool. I'm optimistic here now. Let's go 3-0. Go out there. They lost 4-0 and 3-0 against Napoli and Ajax, and we actually beat that. We go out there now and just 3-0. Come on.
Yeah, I'll have a bit of that. Oh, Dan's in. I think because Roster was released by us, it doesn't count as a direct transfer. There you go.
It does.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think no money exchanged hands.
You don't know that though.
What, you think there was a little dodgy $5 in an envelope? They also had Ojo and Ajaria. Yeah, I think we went through them. There's I think just in terms of who's played for both, obviously Vignal and Charlie Adam, El Hadj Diouf, even though I don't like saying that name because I hate.
Yeah, he played for them as well. Yeah, weird.
Yeah, there's been some weird, Satirios Kyrgios as well. Play for both.
Oh yeah,
just ones
Nick
that you
the Greek.
Yeah, the big Greek man. I love Soto. I love.
We can't pronounce his surname, so we call him Nick the Greek, wasn't it? That song, whatever it was. Brilliant.
I just called him Soto. Easier.
Yeah.
I was like Soto, Kyrgios. Nah, can't be asked. No. Yeah, I think we'll leave it there because that was 40 minutes there. We tend to do half an hour. We try to do half an hour. It's always more though, isn't it? Especially when we do them player profile shows and it's like an hour, an hour and 5. And obviously, with the first one was Luis Suarez. If you haven't watched that, go and have a little watch of it. It was quite interesting to do, and just to relive the highs and lows of the crazy bastard that was Luis Suarez. Just all this good stuff happened. He scored the hat-trick, and then he bit someone, and then he scored another 10 hat-tricks, and he bit someone else. It's just always some stuff going on. So you haven't seen that, go and have a look at it. But we'll be doing this episode 2. I put a poll on the Twitter about the next episode of that, and the winner was Stevie G, of course. I think, it was either Gerard, Torres, or Fowler, and Gerard won by quite a stretch. So I think Gerard's the next one, and then it'll probably be Fowler, Torres, and then I don't know. We'll open it up to other people. Let us know. You reckon we should do Paulson? Christian Paulson, yeah. Soto, do Soto.
Yeah.
Ingog. Loads.
I just saw that Ant was saying I think Kent will score. I bet Kent will score, and I think that obviously Ben Davies probably have the game of his life.
Making his Anfield debut as well.
Yeah.
Flanagan play for both as well. Yeah. Good. Well remembered there. I forgot about that one. But yeah, episode 1 of Player Profiles is out. Luis Suarez. Episode 2 will be out hopefully tomorrow. Actually, for Stevie G, and that'll be we'll try and keep that one under an hour, but that's going to be hard because there's just so much to go through. We might have to do that in 2 parts, lad. That might be difficult to do that. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Nice one, everyone. That's been very nice of you to jump in and join us for the review preview for tomorrow's game. And nice one again, Kristian, for jumping on with me. And we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow actually because Kristian just said he's free, so we'll do a team news show tomorrow. reacting to the team news, and then maybe Kristian's had a few bevies after it, and he'll want to do a instant match review. I don't think I've done an instant match review with you yet. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we did one. I was on the whiskey.
Oh, it was Man United.
Yeah.
But maybe a positive instant match review, because I'll have to get on the bevies as well if it's negative again.
We'll see how it goes. If it's positive, it might happen, because I'm going to get up early on Wednesday and get the train to Stockholm for work. Like, I think I'm going to go at like 6:30 or something in the morning. So I probably need to get up at 5:30. So we'll see. But if there's a few bevies involved and we win, it's fair, to be a little bit tired on the train up then.
Yeah, of course it is, and especially Liverpool winning. You've had a few drinks the night before to celebrate. Just celebrate Liverpool beating Rangers at home. It should just be like normal. Like, we should just be beating Rangers, but we're panicking because Liverpool are just in a fucking weird place at the minute. But yeah, nice one, everyone. We're going to get out of here. Appreciate everyone watching. If you're watching on YouTube, do like and subscribe. We're getting ever closer to 1,500 subscribers. If you're listening on Spotify or whatever, then leave us a review or leave us a rating. It all helps. We really appreciate you listening and watching and leaving us comments and all that. We read them all and try and reply. We reply to them all. I know I do. And Kristian will as well, soon as well, when he has access to the account. He'll be the new man. I'm gonna give all the reins to Kristian, and he's gonna be the new man. He's gonna be on social media. He's gonna be replying to comments. He's gonna be doing everything. He's gonna start getting arthritis in both hands. But yeah, nice one, everyone, and we'll see you all very soon.